Hi. So somebody asked me a few days ago what got me into teaching and why do I do it and things like that. And so this literally is for you, the one person who's asked me this question. So a bit of background. I moved to India when I was in 11th grade. And when I was in junior high, I failed. So that's like all through like high school, I wasn't good with academics. I was a very hypersensitive child. The smallest negative feedback would make me feel so horrible, so bad about like existence altogether that I would start withdrawing myself from the academic space from a much earlier age. It was only when I moved to India and I met a teacher. She was my psychology teacher, and her name is Mitika Chavla. She is to date one of the best people I've ever met, and she's very dear to me. She introduced me to simple concepts like self-esteem and the ability to design my own fate and things like that. She told me that no matter what happens, that my fate is literally in my hand, and there can be a lot of bad people who say a lot of bad things, but at the end of the day, it is me and me alone who gets to decide and who has the autonomy to decide what I want for myself. From failing high school, I went to being the topper. That's what they call it here. And I did really well in my 12th grade exam. In India, the 12th grade matters a lot. And that's how I got into the best college of the country. I went to an all girls college, and it was really prestigious. It was a whatever. And there I learned literature, and through the exploration of literature and were like I got a global perspective on things. And so it helped me understand a lot about how humans work, etc., etc. And I came to a realization that it would actually take a lot of good people to change the environment that is going on in the world. And along the way, then I met a lot of people who were upset with their lives, and I really tried to help because I have always been the one person who will go out of their way, who will do anything I can to make sure that others around me are okay and they're happy, no matter how I'm feeling. And I would never tell others how I'm feeling. It would only matter to me if they are okay. So I identified that I had a huge um, need to make meaning in life. And this doesn't apply with everyone. This doesn't put me at a much higher spot than anyone else. But for me, I really needed to put myself in a position where I could help people and shape the reality of like the world around me. And that's why I think when I was done with my uni, I went on to work, sorry, work at this research sort of, I wouldn't call it an institution, but I was collecting data, gathering data for the Japanese education system that was working on like brain development and things like that. So we work from literally toddlers who are 6 months old to kids who were 6 years old, and we would collect data on fine motor skills. So literally like how they were able to hold things. And so I was working with like babies essentially, and with different age groups. So we had 6 months to 9 months, 9 months to 1 year old, 1 year old to 1 year and 15 months. So that's how we worked. And I would collect data, I would collect information. We targeted things like memory, logical reasoning, deduction, pattern recognition, and all these different areas of interest that the Japanese education system had, right? Um, that put me in a space where I was so fascinated by how they were doing these things that I told myself that I really needed to be part of this. And this it happened entirely by accident. I did my diploma in teaching from the UK. It was an online thing, and thank God for COVID. No, 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 thank God. But back then it was online, I based on that, I started my teaching journey, and then I said to myself, maybe it is time to be like a homeroom teacher at a kindergarten. And because my interest has only and only been the little ones, I do not I don't want to limit myself, but I see the most potential in children, the younger ones, right? So I went on to become a homeroom teacher in a nursery, and then in K1, and then in K2. And I was also doing my master's side by side, and I was tutoring uh, kids on, well, literally language, confidence, all these different things. And language acquisition was a topic of interest, which is why my master's is also in teaching English as a foreign language. Um, and that's what my thesis is about as well. So I'm sort of completing my thesis now. It's done. Ooh, pray for me. Um, and yeah, I've moved to Mumbai 6 months ago, and I'm working at the best preschool in the country. I work with the IB now, and yeah, that's literally what got me into teaching. These small, small, small incidents created this reality for me, and now I work with children who are 5 to 6 years of age. Well, to be honest, it's four moving on to five, and most of them are five now, and I'm going to be with them until they turn like 5.5 ish. Yeah, and the next year will come around and we'll see what age group I'm with. But kindergarten is and has always been my area of interest. Now, this video is literally for that one person who asked me, and I hope I was able to answer your question. Obviously, there's so much more that goes into like a story. I can't put 4 years or more into a short video like this one, but um, thank you so much for people who are commenting and helping me make meaning out of this as well, out of social media, out of YouTube, out of Instagram. And I'm going to put my Instagram down in the caption below for you to follow me on Instagram if you want to. And ask me more questions. I would be very happy to answer and make a video out of it. Have a great day. Bye bye.